This is a piece of racing history here in Daytona Beach. The last part of famed NASCAR mechanic Smokey Yunick's garage was gutted by fire tonight and is being called suspicious.
When Smokey Yunick passed away in May 2001, his family finally opened the doors to a Daytona Beach workshop that racing fans had whispered about for decades. Some expected a hidden vault of banned parts NASCAR wanted buried forever. What they actually found was something stranger and far more human. A lifetime of genius scattered among ordinary junk, waiting for anyone willing to look closely enough. Smokey had run his garage since the late 1940s, earning a reputation as one of the most inventive and stubborn minds in American motorsports. He shut its doors in the late 1980s, convinced the era of true craftsmanship was fading. For years afterward, the building sat quiet, and the legends grew louder. So when his widow finally opened it up to the public for a multi-day sale, people traveled from across the country just to walk through it. What greeted them wasn't a secret laboratory. It was a working man's shop frozen in time, cheap hand tools sitting beside boxes of old racing parts, shelves of hubcaps, a vintage dealership sign, and his battered old typewriter. But mixed into that ordinary clutter were things that weren't ordinary at all, including a hand-built engine advertised at an almost unbelievable 80 miles per gallon. That engine wasn't a fluke. Smokey had spent years chasing an idea most engineers dismissed outright: running an engine so lean and so hot that it vaporized fuel instead of simply burning it. Working from a modest 4-cylinder platform that normally made around 90 horsepower, he pushed it past 200, all while posting fuel economy numbers that sounded impossible for the era. Independent testing reportedly backed up what he claimed. Detroit took notice, ran its own numbers, and then walked away anyway. The technology was expensive to refine, risky to certify, and it came from outside the system, so it never reached showrooms. But the physical engine survived, preserved by his family and by collectors who understood what they represented. The garage sale also brought renewed attention to something less flashy, but arguably more important: his patents. Over the years, Smokey filed for protection on fuel systems, oil systems, engine testing methods, and even early crash barrier concepts. Long before modern soft wall technology became standard at racetracks, he was already sketching ways to cushion impacts instead of letting cars slam into concrete. NASCAR didn't adopt his ideas at the time. Decades later, the sport built something remarkably similar. Then there were the cars, particularly a modified Chevelle, that became racing folklore. People still call it a 7/8 scale car, as if Smokey somehow shrunk the whole body. The truth was subtler, and in a way more impressive. He reshaped the car's proportions, just enough adjusting the roofline, the floor pan, the stance to cut through the air more efficiently, without ever looking obviously different to the eye. NASCAR officials eventually caught on, and the confusion it caused forced the sport to